making better decisions with the ball in my hands. Just showing I can be a lead guard as well, do both sort of on and off the ball.
Tyron and teammate Ezra Magnon will represent Vanderbilt at SEC Media Day next week. And Vandy Soccer plays tomorrow night at home against Missouri, a 7 o'clock start. That is the Commodore Report on 102.5 The Game and 94.9 The Fan.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury pre-owned Rolex timepiece is happening at Genesis Diamonds. Friday and Saturday, October 20th and 21st, Genesis is hosting an epic pre-owned luxury Rolex event featuring a stunning new selection of these hard-to-find watches. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, all the hottest models that people wait years for. For this event, you can choose from 5 years financing or get a free pair of 2-carat lab-grown diamond earrings valued at $5,000. Imagine a luxury pre-owned ladies Rolex Datejust for just $199 a month, or a Sea Dweller or Submariner for just $299 a month. No waiting list, no games, just the watch you want at the great Genesis value price you deserve. Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers will be offering top dollar for your Rolex, so you can buy, sell, or trade. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in the state. Get the timepiece of your dreams and take advantage of our special financing. Friday and Saturday, October 20th and 21st only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes. Green Hills and Cool Springs. On approved credit while supplies last. See store for details.
Get the one and done you want for your dog's monthly protection. New NexGard Plus, a Foxalon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablets. Protects against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. All in one delicious, beef-flavored soft chew. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection prior to starting a preventive. Ask your vet about new NexGard Plus chews.
Green Trees Company Dispensary and 102.5 The Game want to send you to see Kiss at Bridgestone Arena October 23rd. Keep listening to Nashville's Best Sports Talk for your chance to win tickets to see Kiss on their End of the Road tour, courtesy of Green Trees Company Dispensary.
Now, your Game Center update.
This is Nick Keyser, News Channel 5's Steve Lehman joined Robbie and Rexroad this morning ahead of the Predators' season opener in Tampa Bay against the Lightning, and Steve posed his biggest question going into the first game of the campaign.
My biggest question is, are they going to be able to consistently put the puck in the net? Can they find guys who can score? They're going to rely on a lot of those youngsters who, for the most part, came up and played pretty well. They weren't scared of the stage last year, but it's difficult to repeat what you do.
And keep it locked right here on 102.5 The Game as the Nashville Predators kick off the NHL season in Tampa Bay at 4:30. Nashville celebrates 25 years of hockey this season. Then over on 93.3 Classic Hits, get your college football fill as the MTSU Blue Raiders take on the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs with pregame at 5 and kickoff at 6 p.m. You're listening to 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 102.5 and 106.3.
And a score!
You can run different offenses.
The doors on the board.
Off the field, on the field.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Let me talk to you. Talking what's important to Nashville.
Sweet mother of God, what is the holdup?
This is the Chase and Big Joe Show.
Well, Lottie frickin' God!
With Chase McCabe and Big Joe Dubin. Brought to you by Regal Realty Group.
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
We're here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
And a good Thursday, everybody. Welcome in. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. It is opening day in Smashville. Live today, Pete and Terry's Tavern at Bridgestone Arena as the Predators look to play game number 2 of the season, but game number 1 at home at Bridgestone Arena, and I guess officially begin their 25th anniversary celebration in front of Smashville's finest. Chase McCabe, Big Joe Dubin with you here today. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you again, buddy.
Well, it's good to be seen.
I am all tangled in these cords here. I'm not sure what's happening, but
at least you're not tangled in me.
If we go easy, if we go off the air, that's because I have ripped a cord out of the wall because it's wrapped around my foot right now, and I'm afraid to move.
That happened one time with a former co-host of yours. He tripped over a cord and took everything out. Well, we had a guest one time on this show at the Nashville Convention Center across the way, and the guest had everything wrapped around his foot, and he stood up to walk away and yanked everything off the table. And everything. 2 laptops were smashed. The board was smashed. Yeah. And I just laughed. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's all you could do at that point.
That's it. That's all
Rex
you
Rode broke a chair once, so that was good.
Oh, did he?
He did. Right in this spot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was 2 years ago, as Robbie chimes in. It was a comedic gold. It was fantastic. He surprised he didn't sue us, but, it's okay. But anyway, Predators will with the home opener tonight against the Seattle Kraken. Both teams looking for win number 1 on the season. We'll have a lot of flavor with that coming up throughout the show. Michelle Kennedy, the Preds president, will join us at 10 o'clock. We'll talk to Greg Wyshynski from ESPN at 9:30, start our weekly chats with him. Obviously, we'll get you ready for the Titans and Ravens in London. They will leave today after practice. We'll hear from them one more time before they head across the pond.
All right, I've got a really fun, I think, opening Smashville Preds question, okay?
Okay.
Your favorite obscure Nashville Predators player of all time?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Now, we all love Pekka. We all love Shea, Mike Fisher, on and on and on. Jordan Tutu's my all-time favorite player. But your most obscure favorite Nashville Predators player?
Tutu's your favorite?
All time. Robbie and I have this discussion.
Well, I will get him on the show then. We will make that happen for you.
We'll have a discussion. I mean, all time, I think Tutu is number 2 in all-time fan favorite. I think it's Pekka number 1.
Yeah.
Robbie has a good argument for Shea Weber. But when Tutu played here, everybody stood up when he went on the ice. Now, I'm not sure that kind of player would make it now in the NHL, but the fact that he loved this team and loved his teammates, and if you went after one of his teammates, you were going to get it, man. He'd come off the ice or come on the ice and come right at you. So he's my all-time favorite. So the question is, and you can hit us on the text line, 615-737-1025, your all-time favorite obscure Nashville Predators player. Chase, who's yours?
It's a tough one. I mean, there's a few that come to mind. Robbie says Antti Pilstrom. I think I'm going to say Radek Bonk.
Oh, okay.
Remember Radek Bonk?
Yeah, absolutely I do. Yeah.
He was on – so, I kind of look at this team as a similar team to, the 07-08 team after they had,
the fire
traded
sale?
the fire sale and traded for Peter Forsberg and all that. And I kind of look at that 07-08 team as just a ragtag group that – Barry Trotz was able to get the best out of, and Radek Bonk was, kind of in that era. I think he was on that team. But, I'll go Radek Bonk.
All right, I get Darcy.
I'm sure there are other ones.
Darcy Hordichuk for me.
Well, you got to love Darcy.
One day after the season ended, he's like, hey, man, follow me to the parking lot. I'm like, okay, yeah, we were decent friends. So I go to the parking lot, and he opens up his trunk. He's got probably 300 pairs of Crocs.
Oh, yeah. Because he was in on the ground floor with that.
I was like, what? He's like, take as many as you want. So I take one. He's like, that's it? I'm like, all right, I'll take 2. He's like, that's it? I took 30 pairs of Crocs from him, which is so unethical to do. It's something Joe Rexrode wouldn't do that, right? That's how unethical that is. So I take these Crocs, and I just hand them out to people. It was great. So I see him, the next day. He's still back here. He's like, hey, you need more Crocs? I'm like, no, man, I'm good.
What is it?
I don't know. I'm fine. So Darcy Hordichuk's always my favorite player because he said one time that somebody went after Paul Kariya, and he asked to go on the ice, and he went on the ice, went right at the guy, and laid some dude out. And he's like, I'm always going to stand up for my teammates. I'm like, that's what you want to hear.
Oh, Darcy was the best at that. And, I mean, he's a character. But, I've heard a lot of the Croc stories, and I think that he tried to get Peter Forsberg to get in on the ground floor with him, and he said no, and then Crocs blew up.
Oh,
and they're coming back, too.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah. So, but Darcy's a good one. So your favorite obscure Predator, is that the best way to put it? Obscure Predators player of all time? Not the super popular one. He says Darcy Hordichuk. Vern Fiddler's another one. I loved Vern Fiddler. I loved him the first time, and then when he came back, and I was actually covering the team, that was when, I was working, obviously knew Chris Mason, and so Mace, we went in one day to the locker room, and he introduced me, and I'm like, Vern, I'm so glad you're back. Just a good locker room guy, gritty player. But there are a lot. There are a lot to choose from, and they are coming through on the text line fast and furious right now. 615-737-1025.
What game was it that Vern scored in the playoffs? He beat the Blues?
Yeah, I think so.
Game one beat the Blues.
Game 1 of the Blues.
Yeah,
because that's when he came back because he was on the team that went to the Cup final.
Yeah, Harry Zolnarchuk beat the Blackhawks, I think, in a game, and then Vern Fiddler. I mean, all these ragtag guys, which was awesome of doing that. That's great.
Ryan in Nashville says Rich Clune was one of my
Yes,
faves. 100% no lie. That's a good one.
Love that.
Shane in the Borough, does Ryan Hartman count as an obscure Preds player? I mean, not maybe on the level that we're looking for, but I mean, he wasn't. I get it. He wasn't here very long and didn't do much here. And Sean from Nashville, Nick Bonino, sneaky stick, awesome face-off. Again, I think you can go a little more obscure, but Bones is a good one. Oh, here's one that will get Robbie's attention. Patrick Cote, number 17.
Oh, yeah.
You remember him?
Is he still in jail?
I think so. I think he is.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Like Denny Lambert. I saw Denny Lambert at Bar Nashville after a game one night. And they're like, yeah, he plays for the Preds. I'm like, if he plays for the Preds looking like that, I can play for the Preds looking like I look like. But there was a hell of a player, man. Those early days were awful but fun.
All right, 3512 is listed like 7 players.
Name them.
Rich Clune, Vladimir Orzov. Yeah, I don't remember him. Vernon Fiddler, Kevin Klein, Marek Zidlicki, Dan Ellis. Dan Ellis was cool till he had a meltdown on Twitter.
Was Zidlicki the one that drove Barry Trotz crazy? Okay, yeah. I remember
Brent Peterson.
Yeah.
George says, Robbie beat me to the punch. Hard not to pick Pillstrom. Had no finishing ability, but dude was speedy little spark plug who would shoot the puck from literally anywhere. Another one. Oh, Drake Burowski, Bill Holder, Gabriel Bork. Bork.
Yeah.
Peter Laviolette loved Gabriel Bork. Like, absolutely loved him.
Who's the Preds player married to the Baywatch girl?
Oh, that was
Cale Hulse. Yeah, right.
Ask Terry Crisp about Cale Hulse.
Oh, no. Good or bad?
Oh, it's one of Pete Weber and Terry Crisp's favorite stories of all time of what we like to call a misspeak while on the air.
Oh.
Soccer kick.
Oh.
The soccer kick story.
Okay.
If you haven't heard that one.
I have not.
That is not for the air, but that's a good one, and it involves Cale Hulse. But yeah, no, Cale Hulse is a good one. I got a vote for Rem Pitlick. Wasn't here very long, but that's obscure. Okay, is the Patrick Cote that was here the same Patrick Cote that went to UFC?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that because weren't there 2 Patrick Cotes?
I don't think so.
Like a different spelling. One was like CK, one was just C. Cliff Ronning, the Rat. That's a good one.
The Rat, yeah.
Okay, I was waiting for somebody to say this one. 4309, Jared Smithson.
Yes.
Smitty, the original Smitty.
Yes.
That's
he was always so great to interview because he was so appreciative that you were talking to him.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't care what questions you had. He was just so glad that somebody would come talk to him. Yeah, I love that.
We got a troll for Jimmy Vesey. That's a good one. Yeah. Andre Kostizin, that's a good one. Kevin Drake Barahowski, that's a good one. Here's one. 9040 says Nick Spalling, Spalls to the wall. That's a good one. He makes a nice drink at Tin Roof.
It's a great walk down
Freddie
memory
Gaudreau.
lane. Freddie Gaudreau.
Scored 3 goals in the Stanley Cup final. Denis Arkhipov.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How long did Pontus Aberg play here?
Blake Jeffrion. He was here. Aberg was here for a couple years.
I called him Pontus Pilot on TV one time, and nobody laughed. Although that made me laugh.
Who was the vowel line? I don't remember the vowel line.
Robbie? Who's the vowel line?
Yeah. Denis Arkhipov gets a vote. Cole says Pontus Aberg. And then 3803, how about this? One of the last great enforcers, the Grim Reaper, Stu Grimson.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta love Stu.
Oh, this is great. Keep him coming in. I love that.
Let's see. Let's get Tim real quick. Tim is called in for his favorite obscure Predators player of all time. Tim, what's up?
Hey, guys. Y'all are missing the most obvious one. Sergei Krasov or Fraser. Oh,
That's a good one. That's a good one, Tim. And I'm glad you can say his name because I probably can't.
Well, like we always joked, it was freeze your, what off.
Yeah. That's a good way to start it. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
Tim, that's outstanding.
Freeze your cries off. That's a good one.
That is outstanding. Yeah, there's been some guys come through who's been simply fantastic, and all those are really good, man. Really good.
615-737-1025. Bubba Baronswig. That's another one that has come through. Your favorite obscure Predators player of all time in honor of opening night here in Smashville. We'll have a lot of Smashville flavor coming up throughout the show, so stay tuned for that. Broadcasting live today, Pete and Terry's Tavern. They'll be opening here in just a little bit. You can come by and say hi to all of us. Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace will be here as well. And be sure to tune in to 102.5, 106.3 The Game this Saturday for our college football game of the week presented by Twin Peaks as Vanderbilt takes on Georgia at 11 a.m. with pregame beginning at 9:30. Take your tailgate to Twin Peaks for scenic views of all the hottest college football games across the country and home of the 29-degree beer.
Green right, Fox 2 run, double catch. He takes you inside the huddle through the eyes of a quarterback. Wide 85, take! Catch ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck every Tuesday at noon as he breaks down the big stories in the NFL.
Buffalo, maybe Miami.
And with the Tennessee Titans.
The Titans might be like, we're interested in a one-year, $1 million contract.
Tim Hasselbeck is on Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Jared from my friends at Hiller. If you have some things around your home that you've been putting off fixing, like your regular HVAC maintenance or a clogged bathroom drain, Hiller has some big discounts this month. When the temperature drops and you start using your heater for the first time, you do not want to be dealing with breakdown issues, and this month, Hiller is offering half off HVAC tune-up. And Hiller is bringing back their $99 drain cleaning special. These deals only last this month, so be sure to call today. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, proud supporters of the Preds of Falls and Vandy. Hiller, call the Happy Face Truck today.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. The official brand perception report for doors and windows is in. Pella Windows and Doors are the leading brand among all others. A few reasons why. Pella is regarded as the highest quality, the most innovative, and the installers with Pella of Nashville lead the way for attention to detail. That's why Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville is one of Pella's top locations in the country. For new doors or windows, I suggest you choose the experts at Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Go to PellaNashville.com.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of two, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to the Tennessee Men's Clinic in Franklin. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough about them. Their providers took care of me, followed up, and made sure I had a treatment plan that actually works. It's awesome. If I were you, and you're like me, I'd give them a call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. If you're like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra. Results vary.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Every day we are live and local.
It will help them get better players. I'm really excited about this defensive front.
And your source for Nashville sports.
They had missed the playoffs.
Those players may end up being practice squad guys.
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5. The Regal Realty Group.
We are spying on you pretty much around the clock.
But why, Mr. McGuire?
Do you want to know the terrifying truth? Or do you want to see me suck a few dingers?
Dingers! On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Well done. It is a TV-themed Thursday. 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Get the Simpsons clip coming out. Get the Simpsons theme. Bringing us back in. Chasing Big Joe live today, Pete and Terry's Tavern at Bridgestone Arena. Predators opening night against Seattle. I'll have pregame for you at 6 o'clock. Pete Weber a little under the weather. Max Hers will be on the call tonight alongside Jay Moore. So looking forward to that. I haven't got to host a pregame show for opening night, so that'll be fun.
Well,
looking forward to that.
Good luck to you tonight, but young man, this could be it.
Thank
your
you.
Opportunity. I'm getting bombarded with texts too from people. Greg Zanin. Now,
that's a
he
solid
would come
one.
in the locker room and show off his bruises, and because he not block every shot, he would just go flying to block a shot.
Yeah,
he had some of the most amazing, colorful bruises. I was like, dude, I don't want to see this. And outstanding guy too, as well.
Let's see, Cody with a good one. Hal Gill. I mean, didn't play here very long. Let's see, George comes through. Keep him coming. 615-737-1025. Favorite obscure Preds player of all time. Yeah, the Val line was Arkhipov, Orzlaw, and Erat.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Gene in Spring Hill, J.P. Dumont. I wouldn't consider J.P. obscure. J.P.
Dumont has the goal that made Bridgestone Arena, besides the New Kids on the Block concert, the loudest I've ever heard Bridgestone Arena was when Dumont hit the shorthanded goal versus the Sharks in the playoffs in 2007. I thought the top of the arena was going to come off. It was so loud.
There was a year where he was like towards the top of the league in points too. And that was after, Hartnell and Correa and all those guys. So
loud.
Clay and Cunningham weren't there. The Kostitsyn brothers. Yes, there was Andre and Sergei. Sergei was here a little longer.
Good time, brothers.
Andre and Alex Radiloff had some fun in Phoenix.
They did. Was that 2012, right? They beat the Red Wings in the playoffs and went out there and hit the feet. Yeah, Scottsdale. Yeah. Taking down many an athlete in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Rocco Grimaldi, 4 goals in one game. Yeah, that's one. Eric Nystrom had 4 goals in one game too, right? Yeah. Cody McLeod. That's a good one. That's Officer Watson from Clarksville. Thank you. What?
Oh, no.
What about the drug dealer defenseman that played like 2 games with us? Who is that? I don't remember that one. Ryan in Nashville have a favorite line as well. Do you remember the wagon line? Nystrom, Gostad, and Hendricks.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good one. Jackson, there we go. Brian McGrattan, Shane O'Brien. Oh, those 2 guys.
McGrattan, yes.
McGrattan
I forgot all about him.
Scotty Upshaw.
Yep, okay.
That's a good one. Had a reputation. Matt Halischuk or Paul Gostad. Two good ones there.
I forgot about Gostad.
I think this is directed to you.
Uh-oh.
The dude that was married to Carrie Underwood.
Oh, yeah.
Mark
Fisher.
Mark Fisher.
It's funny.
Jeff Fisher's brother.
That's right, yeah. You tell people, yeah, Mark Fisher. They're like, no, I don't think that's right. That's right.
Devin Dubnyk played like 3 games.
That's my cousin from Lithuania. Great family.
Nino Niederreiter. Wasn't here very long, but that's a good one.
Yeah, how long was he here? Like 4 games? It wasn't long at all.
Okay, here's a name I don't even remember. Preds legend Morgan Frost. Robbie shakes his head like he remembers, so there's the nod. 615-737-1025. Let's go to the phones. You guys like this topic. Let's go. Hank wants to weigh in on a favorite obscure Preds player. Hank, what's up?
Well, first off, to prove how popular Tutu was, you just have to remember how popular his dad was. Can you
Barney.
name any other Preds parents other than Barney Tutu?
No.
I mean, that was
Barney Tutu was a
Barney
legend.
on the camera. So the best name is a name that never made it to the ice for the Predators. When my son, now grown son, was about 6 years old, I picked him up from school. I told him there was some bad news that one of his favorite players got traded. And he sat in the back seat there in his car seat for a few moments and was just very quiet. And he said, well, who did we get for him? And I said, well, we got draft picks. And he was quiet some more, just kind of brooding. He finally said, well, is he any good? And I said, who? He said, draft picks. Is he any good?
Nice.
And then we laughed when they finally named the restaurant down at the Ford Ice Center after that obscure Predators player.
That's pretty good, Hank. Appreciate the call. I wasn't ready for that. That was good. David wants to weigh in. David, welcome in.
Hey, I was going to say Alexander Radulov. It sounded like you already named him.
Radulov? Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Alex Radulov had some memorable moments in Nashville.
Drove a few coaches crazy.
He did. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Yeah, I always wonder if he never leaves, what happens?
That's a good question. That's a what if.
Does he become one of the biggest stars in the NHL and one of the elite goal scorer that this franchise has always been looking for? Or
could be.
Does he, become a really good player, but basically what he was when he came back to Montreal and Dallas?
So I covered a practice one time at Centennial Sportsplex. I stood next to his dad. Had no idea who his dad was, and I'm talking to his dad the whole time. His dad's not talking back to me, and then I'm like, this guy's kind of rude. I had no idea who he was. Doesn't speak English.
No.
And had no idea what I was saying. Just kept nodding his head for 20 minutes. I was like, okay.
I met his dad at a practice one time too, and he shook my hand and nodded, and but he didn't speak English. But he was like he was kind of out of the cartoons, Russian. Just that, I was like, I'm not gonna mess
out
with
of the cartoons.
Well, TV shows, you know what I mean.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Oh yeah, this is great, man. Bring up a lot of old memories here.
Henry says, ask Robbie about Rexroad's favorite goalie, Skiatika. That's a classic. It's a good one. Have you heard that?
I have not.
Rexroad was trying to say sciatica and said Skiatika. Talking about Caleb Farley before the draft.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the good netminder for sure. 615-737-1025. Keep them coming for your favorite obscure Preds player of all time. We'll talk to Greg Wyshynski. I bet he's got one. We'll talk to him in a few minutes. He's kept up with the team for a long time.
Hold on. I mean, I'm looking at Jared Smithson's been gone since 2012?
Yeah. I still have his I have a jersey of his.
Good Lord. I he was yesterday he was in the locker room hanging out.
Another one for Radek Bonk. Heck yeah. That's a good one. And Radek Bonk's son just got drafted in this draft, in this building.
Really? Mm-hmm. I like the name Radek Bonk.
Bonk. He was here.
Is he a Russian cartoon character too?
No.
Oh man.
Oh, the coffee hadn't hit in yet.
There's one player. Is this the one that had the unfortunate incident? Since Robbie's our Preds historian, Gribashkov.
Gribashkov.
Is he the one that had the injury on the ice? Yeah.
So he's missing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That was brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, I saw his name. Yeah, he got hit and then and then lost.
Another one, and unfortunately he was on the plane that crashed in Russia and he passed away. But Carlos Skrastins was another one that I liked. Defenseman from the early days, played with the Stars as well before going to the KHL and was on the Locomotive, the team that the plane crashed.
The plane crash. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about him.
Yeah, there were a couple of former NHLers on that flight, but Carlos Skrastins was one of those.
Bring it down, Chase.
Yeah, sorry. Brandon Yip gets it. There's one. Anders Lindback. He was backed up Pekka for a couple of years.
He did.
On a couple of different occasions.
And how could you forget the famous goalie Brian, what was his name, Robbie? The goalie they drafted third overall in 99. Brian
Finley?
Brian Finley. There we go. Yes.
Yeah. I think he was the one
Didn't quite have it.
He was the
beat
one
up by
that
Mike Dunham.
Didn't he play? Yeah, he played like one game, right?
Something like that, yep.
Yeah, I remember him. Barely.
Mike Ribeiro, possibly?
Ribeiro, I mean, you could put Ribeiro on that list. He was here for a few years, but obviously a lot surrounding him. But I think that's one. Oh, that was he? Timo Laxo, was he on that plane? I don't remember if he was on that, but he is an obscure Preds player. That's another one. 615-737-1025. We'll talk to Greg Wyshynski, get his thoughts on not only the Predators, but the opening around the league, the entire league. We'll do that next. Chasing Big Joe live today. Pete and Terry's Tavern, Bridgestone Arena, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
They combine hard-hitting journalism.
The Titans asked Kevin Byard to take a pay cut.
Strong-willed opinions.
There's hot takes and then there's like weird takes. Yeah. This is a weird take.
And sometimes some old man takes.
I'm excited about it. So do I gyrate embarrassingly?
To create the perfect morning show, they are Robbie and Rex Road. Mornings from 6 to 9. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Whether you drink it neat, in a cocktail, or like our boys at Bridgestone, on ice, Blue Note Bourbon hits all the right notes. From the ever-popular Blue Note Juke Joint to our fabled Blue Note Crossroads. It doesn't matter if you're watching the Preds at a bar or just hanging at home. Our double gold medal winning, hand-bottled, straight bourbon whiskey always sounds like a good time is about to be had. Blue Note Bourbon. Take note. Sip responsibly.
Do reward. Just desserts. Special day. Payoff. Just because. Whatever your reasons, it's time to visit the spa.
Mokara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Now offering outdoor yoga 9 a.m. every Saturday through September 2nd on the spa terrace. Book any treatment and get complimentary valet parking and access to the rooftop pool with incredible views of the Music City skyline. Mokara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Inner Zen, outer beauty.
Want an inexperienced surgeon?
Okay, nurse. I'm ready for the scalpel.
How about an inexperienced airline pilot?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain, and I'm terrified.
Experience matters, and we have it.
Regal Realty Group is experienced to help you from contract to close. They know the area, understand financing, and have up-to-date property listings and comparisons. Oh, and lots of experience. Visit RegalRG.com.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about two things. The one-of-a-kind wood-fired flavor of a Traeger Ironwood XL grill. And football. That's right, Desmond Howard. Get fired up for the game in just a tap with Traeger's intuitive touchscreen. Then throw on your favorites and monitor the grill from anywhere with Wi-Fi technology. So you spend less time staring at the grill, which means more time for football. For football. Upgrade your Saturday with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Get the one and done you want for your dog's monthly protection. New NexGard Plus, a Foxalon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablets. Protects against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. All in one delicious, beef-flavored soft chew. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection prior to starting a preventive. Ask your vet about new NexGard Plus chews.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, we love to hear from you. Give us a call on the phone line, sponsored by Wilson County Hyundai.
Yes, I'm looking for a friend of mine. Last name Jazz, first name Hugh.
615-737-1025.
Hugh Jazz. Chase and Big Joe are on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game, TV Theme Thursday, live today, Bridgestone Arena. Opening night in Smashville. Predators will take on the Seattle Kraken later on tonight. You can hear coverage starting at 6 o'clock, but we'll have Preds flavor throughout the day. Every Thursday at 9:30 during the hockey season, we say hello to Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. Always enjoy our conversations with him. Greg, what's up, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Just in that that weird transitionary period of having gotten around 4 hours of sleep for 2 weeks writing previews and all that nonsense, and now we're just kind of like sailing along. It's the season again. It's been fun. There's already been some interesting stuff that's happened in 2 days, and happy hockey's back.
Before we get into things going on around the league, our question of the day, and I have a feeling you could come up with one, but your favorite obscure Predators player of all time?
That's a great question. I guess, what was it, Sergei Krizakrazov?
That's it. He's gotten a lot of votes. He's gotten a lot of votes this morning.
That's the first one that I really remember. But I mean, like, the other thing about the Predators, there's been some randos, that have been there through the years too, like the big name guys that stuck there for just a cup of coffee. But yeah, Krizakrazov, and then the other one, obviously, and this is, I mean, it's not obscure, but like my favorite Predator from the old school was Stu Grimson, who's again not obscure. But yeah, I own one Predators jersey, and it's the old school blue one, and it's a Grimson jersey. It's the only Predators jersey I own.
That is awesome. Stu's a great guy too, so that's really cool that you have that. So let's start with this Predators team. Andrew Brunette takes over as the head coach. Barry Trotz moves into the GM role since returning to the organization. They fall to Tampa the other night, but I know that I saw some good things. Obviously, they took some penalties late in the game that didn't help them out, but it was on your network. What did you see from the Predators and this new-look team in their opener?
Yeah, I was encouraged too. They showed some spark, which is what you wanted to see from Andrew Brunette coming behind the bench and trying to do some of the things offensively that he was able to do in Florida and kind of sprinkle the magic dust that he sprinkled on the Devils when they broke out offensively last year and he was their associate head coach. But again, like you said, I mean, it comes down to discipline sometimes and not giving the most talented players on the opposite side opportunities on special teams, and lesson learned there. The Lightning were interesting too. I actually have them missing the playoffs this year. I made that pick before Vasilevsky got hurt. The supporting cast, the number of players that they've lost through the years, I just think it catches up to you at some point. But that being said, the thing that was kind of the counter argument was they still got those guys. and as the Predators saw on opening night, man, Kucherov makes a play or Point makes a play. You just can't count out those Tampa Bay Lightnings quite yet.
This is Joe. I'm joining Chase now for on. Let me ask your opinion on Philip Forsberg. Around the league, does he still strike fear in people? I mean, last year wasn't the best year, but your thoughts on Forsberg heading into this season?
Well, he's a terrific player. I mean, and obviously elite facial hair. But has he ever? I guess the question I have is, has he ever struck fear in the hearts of teams around the league? I mean, I think he's always been a player that can produce, can play well. There are some years in which he puts up numbers that could be considered elite, and still is a top performer. But as far as the guy that you have to kind of like game plan around, I'm not sure if he's ever been on that level. But obviously a consistent top line player and a hugely important player this season if Brunette is going to have this team churning offensively.
Talking to Greg Wyshynski from ESPN, and so he's playing on a line with Ryan O'Reilly that they signed in the offseason. O'Reilly buries his first goal of the year in the loss to Tampa Bay. That was a signing that I don't think anybody really saw coming, but also piqued some interest around here and maybe around the league as well. At this point in his career, he's won a cup. What do you think O'Reilly has left in the tank and can bring to a team that's trying to build a young core?
Well, like you said, it was a surprise not only that he got some term out of somebody. It looked like he was going to be entering his roving samurai phase of his career, going from team to team, trying to chase another cup maybe, but also being cast as a top-line center. And, I think it's a really solid move in the sense that he's a leader, he's a character guy. He brings a championship pedigree to a team that is absent a lot of guys with rings right now. outside of a couple exceptions. And still a very productive player. I mean, obviously when Toronto acquired him, they didn't need him to be a top-line center. They just needed to kind of be a veteran depth guy behind what they had there with Tavares and Matthews. But I think he can serve that role pretty well. And above all else, I mean, he is one of those guys that just is a win-at-all-cost type player, legendary defensively, great on faceoffs, and I think is going to bring a good, solid 200-foot game to this team.
Greg, let me ask you this. What, with Barry Trotz being the GM, what do you think? I mean, is it take a while to get his pieces here? Is it going to be – are they here now? What's the process you think that Barry Trotz wants to put his perfect team on the ice here?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question because whenever a new GM comes in, you're not quite sure when the evaluation period begins or ends as far as his feelings on the roster. It could be, let's play out this season, see where we are, and adjust accordingly in the offseason. Or it could be that he looks at this team and gets a little bit more aggressive at the trade deadline, for example, if he thinks that they're close to being a playoff team. I actually have Nashville in the playoffs this year. Like I think that Brunette's a terrific coach, and I think he's going to find ways to squeeze offense out of this forward group that, on paper, I think is not necessarily among the elite teams offensively. But he's a great players coach. He kind of gets everybody pulling the rope in the same direction. And you put that on top of UC Soros and Kevin Lankinen, who I think are maybe a top 3 goalie tandem in this league. I thought that was going to be enough for them to get over the hump in the Central Division, with some teams in the conference maybe taking a little bit of a step back to open the door for them.
And how does that work? You've covered this league for a long time. When a great head coach becomes a GM, I mean, is he just like, all right, I delegate? He's got Andrew Brunette here for a reason because he likes him, but is it best he kind of stays away? Or how does this dynamic work perfectly for a former head coach that's now a GM?
I mean, I think it really depends on what the relationship between the GM and the coach is. And obviously Brunette and Trotz have a relationship back from Brunette's playing days, and that's got to be beneficial. I mean, I think that probably means a more open door policy than it would be otherwise with a former coach being a GM and the current coach behind the bench. But I mean, for the most part, there is a bit of separation of church and state when it comes to an executive and the coach in the NHL. And Barry's going to be busy. Like if Barry wanted to be behind the bench, he'd be behind the bench. I think he wants to begin the next phase of his career. He's got a lot of learning to do as an executive. He's got to surround himself with the right people. He's got to make some good relationships in front offices. And then on top of that, kind of really understand from a player evaluation standpoint what he's looking for insofar as, who should stay, who should go, and what pieces this team needs.
Greg Wyshynski is with us. So Connor Bedard, game number 2, finally breaks through, scores his first goal, had a point in his first game. And I know he said it was nice to get that moment out of the way, but probably going to be the first of many. What did you think about the first 2 games of the first overall pick?
I mean, he's great. He's really good. It makes me very angry that the Blackhawks are going to be really good for a very long time once again. Listen, he's the real deal. I mean, you watch this kid play, and all of the reports that we had gotten about the quality of his shot, the accuracy of it, the strength behind it, his ability to get it off in a number of different ways, almost kind of like a Brett Hull type player in that regard. That's all been proven true in the first 2 games. He's been able to get shots on goal and get quality chances. The 2 things about Bedard that I have surprised me in talking to him a few times in the offseason and now watching him in the NHL. First is that you think of a kid that young, you think of somebody who's a bit wiry, and like going to get pushed around and stuff. And he's actually kind of built a little bit thicker than you'd think for a kid his age. That plays center, and I think because of that, he's going to be able to handle the NHL grind a little bit easier. And then the other thing too is, and especially in that first game against Pittsburgh, like he plays defense, and that's kind of a shock. I remember talking to Matt Duchene about that once when Duchene came up as a rookie, and he told me, look, part of it is you're trying to figure out what offensive tricks you used in like junior hockey and the minor leagues that you can use in the NHL. But part of it is also understanding that your responsibility as a center defensively is exponentially harder than what it was at other levels. And so to see Bedard positionally play well, to see him back check, to see him, active in the defensive zone, it was a real surprise because I think he's been sold a little bit more offensively than as a complete player. So that portends good things, I think, for him going forward.
And real quick, are the Oilers going to shut it down after losing 8-1 last night? Besser with 4 goals for Vancouver.
Well, who knew they had another preseason game in them last night? Look, they're my Cup pick. They'll be fine. Me and Connor and Leon will all have a laugh about this in June when they're passing around the Cup in the locker room. But yeah, kind of an embarrassing stumble out of the gate for the Oilers last night to not only lose, but just mud thumped by the Canucks, who I think are going to be really good. Again, like the Canucks and Predators are my wild card teams in the West. Yeah. I think the Flames and the Kraken and the Winnipeg and a few others aren't gonna answer the bell in the way that people think they are.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We're going to enjoy these conversations every week, and maybe we'll come up with some more obscure hockey players that we can bring up on the show. Appreciate it.
Always appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg Wyshynski, ESPN, joining us here on the show. He'll do that every Thursday at 9:30 on the Chase and Big Joe Show. We're presented by Regal Realty Group, and coming up next, we'll get into the Titans a little bit. They practiced yesterday. We'll practice today. They had the Oilers lids on yesterday, I believe.
Hold on, but before, do we have hockey players all have nicknames? Do you have a nickname for Greg Wyshynski?
Wish.
Is that his nickname?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Or like the Shin?
No.
Okay.
No, Wish.
All right.
You'd probably be JoJo.
No, pass.
Doobie?
Maybe.
Doobie, you're Doobie.
Oh,
that's
great.
what you are. That's perfect for you. We'll get into the Titans next. 615-737-1025 if you want to keep the question of the day going. Favorite obscure Predators player of all time in honor of opening night. It's Chase and Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game.
He breaks down every game.
The players are still going to be fine.
And knows the ins and outs of the two-tone blue.
They deal with their own position coaches.
He is ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter Teron Davenport.
It's clear what he's doing.
TD joins every Monday at 1, Thursdays at 3, Friday mornings at 8, and anytime on the Talkin' with TD podcast.
I think that's really cool how he could show both sides.
TD is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hey, it's Jared from my friends at Hiller. If you have some things around your home that you've been putting off fixing, like your regular HVAC maintenance or a clogged bathroom drain, Hiller has some big discounts this month. When the temperature drops and you start using your heater for the first time, you do not want to be dealing with breakdown issues, and this month, Hiller is offering half off HVAC tune-up. And Hiller is bringing back their $99 drain cleaning special. These deals only last this month, so be sure to call today. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, proud supporters of the Preds of Falls and Vandy. Hiller, call the Happy Face Truck today.
Blue Raider fans, your home for all the MTSU football and men's basketball action is on 93.3 Classic Hits and 95.1 Classic Hits in the borough. Catch the action all season long with Chip Walters on the call. Go Blue Raiders!
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? Look no further than Big Play Hendersonville. Get ready to embark on an adventure like no other. Whether you're a kid or a kid at heart, Big Play Hendersonville has something for everyone. And right now, you can get half off a $50 gift card to check out all they have to offer, from bowling to laser tag, indoor go-karts, bumper cars, and more. They offer fantastic food options as well. Big Play isn't just a place, it's an experience. Get half off now at the Game Nashville.com/deals.
Vanderbilt football lives here.
This Saturday, it's Vanderbilt and Georgia from First Bank Stadium. Kickoff at 11 a.m. Coverage starts at 9:30.
Your home for the Commodores is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. This is the Chase and Big Joe Show, brought to you by Regal Realty Group.
Coach, didn't you say at the beginning of the season that we should be really fat? No, I said fast. Oh, damn!
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Here we come, walking down the street. We get funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, we're the Monkees.
Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. This is a classic.
It's a great
the
show,
Monkees.
man. Yeah.
My mom was big into the Monkees.
Only
therefore,
one-
I listened to the Monkees because of her.
Only ones left around, man. Only ones left.
We need to open the door, apparently, for
the Monkees?
For Sean Henry. He's texting me.
Don't let him in.
Well,
don't let him in.
He's kind of important.
He is kind of important.
Junie, can you go open the door for him?
Thanks,
I see him
Junie.
over there. Please.
Appreciate you, Junie.
615-737-1025. Favorite obscure Preds player of all time is
Who's
our
yours
question
again?
of the day. Radek Bonk.
Okay.
Or Vern Fiddler.
Vern Fiddler. I take Darcy Hordachuk. We explained why we love those guys earlier, but my goodness, the text line exploded with these
And
guys.
it's still, it's still coming through. So we'll get to those here in a little bit. Titans were back on the practice field yesterday. They'll be back on today before they head to London this afternoon. A long flight. We talked to Brett Kern, former Titans punter, on Monday, and he talked about how difficult that trip is, but they will do it nonetheless. They did practice in the Oilers' lids yesterday to break those in. Obviously a different helmet. No Traylon Burks again, no Luke Gifford, no Jeffrey Simmons, no Tierre Tart, no Elijah Molden on the practice field yesterday.
Why even practice?
I know, right?
That's crazy. But there's still a lot of consternation from fans about why they're leaving. So I think if the Ravens were leaving today as well, then I think the fans would be like, okay. But the fact that the Ravens left, somebody said Sunday night.
They did, yeah. It was after the game.
Okay.
Is when
It's like, all right, why did the Titans not leave? And we talked about this ad nauseum on Monday and Tuesday as well. But I don't. Will that be who knows? Everybody that weighed in about your travel to London and to England, how long does it take to acclimate? Like 1 or 2 days. But I didn't have to play a football game. But regardless, you're still playing a game at 8:30 in the morning. You got to get up. Your body clock time at 4, probably, maybe 3.
Yeah, it's going to mess with them, and that's what I'm worried about. I'm already worried about how they're going to match up against Baltimore in general.
Yeah.
But Sean Henry's here giving me crap about my Braves hat. Hey, look, I'm trying to rally them back, man.
Yeah. Sean's not wearing a Yankees hat.
That's
he
true.
knows.
No. Yeah, they're off. They're on the golf
Everybody
course.
jumped off the ship on that one.
Look, I'm already worried about the matchup in general, and then you add the travel and acclimating to the time change on top of that, and Baltimore has gotten ahead of the curve on that.
Well, at the end of the day, just go out and play football.
Sure.
Just go out, have fun, play football. Don't worry about things we're worrying about, and go out there and get the job done. Again, if you win on Sunday, it's all for naught. You got a bye week coming when you get back, get some rest there, but if you lose this game at 2-4, a lot of these questions are going to pop up of why you didn't leave early, what's the team looking like, what's the future of Ryan Tannehill. All these questions bubble up. But if you win, those questions are still there, but not as just prevalent.
Yeah, I think you said that perfectly, because they're still there, because the roller coaster ride that is the Titan season, they're going to come back up every time they lose, and that's the hard part. It's like you have to decide if you're going to ride this thing out. And I saw on Twitter that there's this rumor going around that Kirk Cousins may be traded from Minnesota and that the Titans could be a landing spot.
Huh? Who wrote that?
You have Kirk Cousins. Ryan Tannehill and Kirk Cousins are the same quarterback.
Right.
So why would the Titans make that move? That would make no sense. It would make no sense for either side, really, to make that move. So, this is the time of year where you have the fan base that they've been done with Tannehill for a long time, since the 3 interceptions against Cincinnati, and they're ready to move on. And then you got the crowd that's like, okay, well, why not just go ahead and blow it up and trade Tannehill and trade Henry and trade Byard and, turn the keys over to either Malik Willis or Will Levis and, just tank. And it's like Vrabel's not going to do that. Now that Vrabel has control, he's not going to do that. He's going to try and win with what he has. And then if it doesn't work, if you're a 7, 8, 9 win team and either barely miss the playoffs or barely make the playoffs, but you're one and done,
right?
Then you address all that in the offseason.
I totally agree. We got a football game tonight.
Yeah. There is a Thursday night
Broncos
game
at Chiefs.
Riveting.
Yeah, is it not?
Yeah, Chiefs by 30.
Easily, yeah.
Broncos are bad. They're bad. That's a bad team. And you know what? This whole Sean Payton thing.
No, don't blame him.
This whole Sean Payton thing.
He took over a bad team.
He took over a bad team, yes, but he didn't help with all the trash talking that he did, to throw in Nathaniel Hackett. And look,
Terrible.
Hackett was not a head coach.
No, not at all.
But you don't need to go and do that. And then I can already tell there's something with him and Russ. And, Russell is what he is at this point, but he's probably going to get benched.
Getting paid, and he's done. That's just – I never thought the Broncos this bad overall. I mean, that was a football team throughout Super Bowl in the 70s, Super Bowl in the 80s, won Super Bowls in the 90s, went back good in the 2000s, 2 Super Bowls in the 2010s. They won 1. And now this team is just bad.
Is the Russ project over?
Oh, it was over the last 2 years in Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why – did you see the interview that Shannon Sharp did with Marshawn Lynch?
No.
There's a clip of it, and he asked about, Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson and, did he see any signs of that relationship degrading, in his last year there? And Marshawn said, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really mess with either one of them. And
shocker.
Sharp looks at him and he's like, wait, what? And he goes, man, I did my thing. And I knew Russ is, he's a teammate, but we weren't boys. Pete was the coach. I kind of let them do their thing and I did my thing. And that, I mean,
Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me from the Marshawn Lynch because I think that's how he always was. He was kind of a loner and just hey, I'm going to do my thing. And I also think because later on, it comes up of not giving him the ball in the Super Bowl, there's still some consternation there from Marshawn Lynch of why they didn't give him the ball on that last play in the Super Bowl that ended up being intercepted and they lose to the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, which was still just a bizarre moment in history.
I still can't believe that one.
But if you go back and if you let the Seahawks explain that, the defense that the Patriots are in was great to stop the run, and they saw the opportunity to throw the ball, and Butler jumped the route and took the interception and won the Super Bowl for him.
Texter 5728 on the text line says, why are the Titans so cheap, gentlemen? Number one, we're not gentlemen. But why can't they afford to send them to London a week early like Baltimore? Why is Baltimore and Cleveland spending $70 million more on their teams than the Titans are? I don't think them going to London on Monday or Thursday is they're cheap. If Mike Vrabel went to Amy Adams Strunk and said, hey, I want to go on Monday, they would have gone on Monday.
The league paid for this?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that is not, I don't think, the cheap part. For the roster, it's a retooling, and so they didn't want to spend to the cap. But the problem is, you compare what the Preds are doing and what the Titans are doing. The Preds it's not a rebuild, but it's certainly a reset. They're trying to build a new young core. And they have allowed themselves that cap space to, if they get to the trade deadline and they're in contention, then they can go make some big moves and add, some players that can help. And
so you think they've got one eye towards gutting this team?
The Titans?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I think they don't know what they want to do.
Oh,
I think they're in
I'd love to hear that about your favorite football team.
Yeah, no, I think that's the difference. One organization has a plan. It's a pretty clear plan.
Right.
And the other one, the Titans, does not. The Titans are well, we're going to just see if this works, and then we'll figure it out.
I just told you, there's still no fire from this football team that I see on a Sunday. Even when they beat the Bengals, it just felt odd. I know they just thrashed the Bengals at home, but I just don't see any, just getting people's faces on your own teammates and slapping each other and everything else. I just don't. It's weird. It's just weird. I haven't seen that in a Titans team in a long time.
The text line's giving me crap about bringing up the Kirk Cousins tweet. And saying one saying that I'm wrong, that Cousins is better than Tannehill, and other is how could you bring that tweet up? So sorry, but it was out there. So
yeah, I mean, just some dude just writing they would never trade for Kirk Cousins.
No, it wouldn't make sense at all.
No, it would not at all. I mean, Kirk Cousins sounds like he's a nice guy, but my goodness, how many opportunities has he had?
A lot. Coming up next, it is opening night here in Smashville. The Predators will host the Seattle Kraken. We're live at Pete and Terry's Tavern. We're going to talk to Michelle Kennedy, the Predators president, coming up next. She will join the show. And Sean Henry's here, too. I mean, she's the president.
Can you not hear Sean Henry on the radio?
Oh, we hear him, for sure. We will do that next. 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics in Springfield at Northcrest Medical Center offers world-class orthopedic care. This location specializes in general orthopedics, arthroscopic surgery, sports medicine, hip, knee, and shoulder. Get back to enjoying life sooner by scheduling your appointment at tn.houston.com. Houston Clinic Orthopedics in Springfield is conveniently located at the Northcrest Medical Center. When experience matters, trust Houston Clinic Orthopedics.
Nashville's Best Deals is a great place to save cash fast. Get up to half off or more on dining and entertainment at thegamenashville.com/deals. Check back often for new featured deals and save money now at thegamenashville.com/deals.
All of us at 102.5 and 106.3 The Game want to recognize our active military, veterans, first responders, and educators with the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
This is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Now, your Game Center update.
This Game Center update is brought to you by Gary Force Acura, proud sponsor of your Nashville Predators. This is Nick Frazier with your Game Center update. Yesterday on the Chase and Big Joe show, Nashville Predators captain Roman Josi joined the show and shared his thoughts on what this group is for the Nashville Predators.
I just think we got a great group of guys, like a great mix. We got so many young guys who having a big role this year and get a great opportunity. We brought in some amazing leaders from other teams, guys who've won, guys who've been in the league for a long time. So I think just the mix in our team is really good, and yeah, I love our group. I think if we get the system down, play consistently, I think we can be a really fast and aggressive team, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun with this group.
Tune in tonight as the Nashville Predators host the Seattle Kraken in their home opener as the Preds look to get their first win of the season. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. You can listen to the game right here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 102.5 The Game or visit thegamenashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
79-52 Vanderbilt.
And I think he's got a coach
shot by Cheryl.
You're going to see more moves. The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Let me talk to you. Talking what's important to Nashville.
Sweet mother of God, what is the holdup?
This is the Chase and Big Joe Show.
Well, Lottie frickin' God!
With Chase McCabe and Big Joe Dubin. Brought to you by Regal Realty Group.
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
We're here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Chase and Big Joe, hour number 2, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McKay, Big Joe Dubin live today at Pete and Terry's Tavern at Bridgestone Arena. Opening night in Smashville as the Predators will take on the Seattle Kraken. Our question of the day, your favorite most obscure Predator of all time. 615-737-1025. We've had a lot of great answers today. Radek Bonk is mine. That's one from the Barry Trotz coaching days.
Darcy Hordichuk's mine. That's also from the Barry. But we've got dozens and dozens and dozens of people who have weighed in with former Predator players that I've just kind of forgotten about.
Yeah, so some good ones for sure. So keep those coming. Now we are joined by Michelle Kennedy. She is the president of the Nashville Predators, and I think there is a special reason that she is joining us that I'm probably semi-responsible for. Because when you got the job, and hello, Michelle, welcome in. Thanks.
Hi, Jake. Pontus Aberg is my
That's a
answer
good one.
to that. I called him the founding father. He sounds like a founding father.
He does.
Pontus Aberg. It sounds like he signed the Declaration of Independence.
I told Chase on TV one time, I called him Pontus Pilate, and nobody laughed, and I was like, I think it's pretty funny back in the day for something. So
was that before or after you drew a stick figure of it?
That was during the same time.
So when you came on the show after being announced as the president, and Sean Henry's here too, he's still the CEO, I asked you, does that mean Sean has to give up the president Twitter account? And this kind of became a thing. and apparently the answer to that is no, that he is going to that he's built that brand. So what is the latest on that?
Okay, so first of all, it troubles me that you've been so troubled by this. And you are not only part of the reason for this today, you are the entire reason.
Okay, so I will take responsibility for it.
Because, okay, couple things. So, yes, he's built that brand, but put yourself in my shoes. Would you want to inherit that legacy? Bad score predictions for other leagues, Giants fandom that is just sad. Like, there are so many things.
The Yankees aren't even playing.
I don't want it. And but I do want to be accessible. I do want to be able to spar with him publicly.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go with Madam President.
Oh, yes. Right.
Yeah, so we're unveiling it today. I am a total novice. Go easy on me. I guess people now are going to, what do you say, slide into my DMs? That's the stuff that now happens.
All right, nice. I'm making this official. I'm hitting follow to Madam President.
Yep.
You can tweet her at Madam President and go give her a follow. I mean, look, suggestions, that's what Sean gets a lot, I'm sure. Right. Yes. A lot of fan suggestions, and you will get those now. Okay, that's very cool.
This is the coming out. Here we are.
I like
welcome.
it. Madam President.
You've been here for a while. Does today feel different with your new title?
It doesn't. It just feels exciting. Like it's opening day is cool. You walk into the building, you get hit with the burst of cold air, and there's just so much excitement around every opening day. I think this opening day is especially exciting, not because of my new role, but because of just what this season holds. Barry's back. Bruno's back. We've got a great core coming back. Those guys who made us all so excited at the end of last season are back. And, oh, by the way, we added Ryan O'Reilly, and we added Gus Nyquist, and we added Luke Shin. And so it's just, I think it's going to be a special, special season, and I'm just excited to get it underway and to see this place rowdy like we haven't seen it in 6 months.
I was telling the guys earlier, I'll go in Kohl's or Walmart, wherever. I still see so many Preds jerseys. I mean, they're everywhere. When you see that, you want to go up and talk to them? What does that do? Do you excited?
Well, I mean, I've been here for 15 years.
Right.
So I was here when the Preds had a decidedly different profile in Nashville. And so when I walk in and see those things, I'm just proud of what we've done here in 15 years. And I love the connection that this team has with this community. I think it's really, really special. And I think, Sean and I talked to our team yesterday, and one of the things we said to them was, it's great that we have a room full of elite athletes, but you're just as elite as human beings. And so that connection that our guys have with this community is so special. And so, again, to see all these people who have been longing to watch these guys play a hockey game for real for 6 months are going to be here tonight. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
25 years, too. The celebration begins. And that was I love nostalgia. So seeing the Welcome to Smashville city limit sign. Now, the capacity's changed a little bit since that original sign. So we got that up there, 17,159. But seeing things like that I know there's more of that on the horizon to kind of go back because, as you move forward with this new era, there's obviously nostalgia with that, with Andrew Brunette and Barry Trotz, but it's fun to look back and see how far you've come, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this year we'll be celebrating a lot of that. We'll obviously honor David Poyle and what he's done for this organization over the years. We'll have a night where we bring former captains back. We bring as many of the inaugural team members back as we can. We have, while there is certainly an active alumni group on the ice that's much more visible, we have so many people who have come through here in a business capacity throughout the years. We'll have a lot of reunions this year. It'll be a really fun year to reflect back on where we've been, where we are, and where we're going.
What's it like with the Bellevue, Antioch, Clarksville, which is immaculate, seeing that growth? I mean, you've been here a while, as you said, but to see all that growth now in Middle Tennessee, that's something special.
It is. It's incredible. And, it's busy, for one.
Good.
It makes us a very busy place, and all those places are incredibly busy. But to see our brand extending in those places and to see kids from the time they can walk immediately begin to skate is something that no one ever would have envisioned in Nashville 15 years ago, 25 years ago. And so it's just more of the staying power and the proliferation of our brand throughout the area. And we want more of that in the future. We want to continue to grow. You still hear stories all the time about, I have a 15-year-old godson who plays youth hockey, and he says he'll have practice at 9 on a Tuesday night. And so, we obviously still need more ice in the area, and that's part of what we're very committed to that. But it's great to see that growth. And then when people walk into those facilities and they're like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
But you hear about it, but then walking in and seeing it is a completely different thing. So it's a really, really fulfilling.
And it was so cool, too, to have training camp at Fordyce and Bellevue. And I think the thing that was funny to me, and in a good way, is obviously it changed the schedule around for that facility because you had to make room for the practices and having everybody in there, that you had people that are like, oh, wait, I can't get my ice time because the team's practicing. But that shows you just how much that facility's used. I'm from the Bellevue area. Remember when that was the mall, and now to see that as the community center and then the Fordyce, and then you mentioned Clarksville, I got to see that for the first time. That's what's so neat, because I have family in Dallas, and that had a cousin that played hockey, so I saw all the Dr. Pepper centers that they had there. And to kind of see that start to build around this area and be very similar is awesome.
Yeah, the community has embraced that in such a tremendous way.
Yeah.
So it was fun to watch that facility magically transform from what we see it like every day to training camp. And our guys loved it. The staff at Fordyce Bellevue, it really helped our entire organization feel more entrenched in what was going on. I mean, everybody was out there seeing what was happening, and it was just such a successful way to start the season. And the fan support was tremendous. We had more people at that training camp than we've had at any other training camp in the past. And maybe that's a sign of things to come. You might see it out there again.
Right. I'm not really that smart, Michelle, and I ask really bad questions. What does an alternate governor do?
So when when that announcement came out, I have a friend who lives in a different state. She said, "Are you now affiliated with the governor of Tennessee?" No, it has not. So the Board of Governors is the board that runs the NHL and usually it's comprised of owners. Usually the governor of the team is an owner.
Okay.
And then there are a series of alternate governors who will go to the meetings and step in when NHL votes need someone to do that. Usually Sean has been alternate governor for a long time. When it involves something operational, we usually have more insight into it than owners might because they're not here every day. And so we have this group of governors and alternate governors who talk about those things and make the NHL happen.
You have to pay attention then.
You have to pay attention sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's why we have a lot of them, because sometimes Sean's not the best at paying attention to detail.
As we can tell.
So we reinforce with some extras.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Cool. So she adds that to her job description on her Twitter account at Madam President. You can give her a follow on that. Michelle, excited about tonight. There's always surprises in Smashville. I know you're not going to tell me exactly what they are, but I would expect nothing less tonight with the home opener.
Yeah, I think you should be in your seats before the game starts.
Okay.
You want to see all the pregame festivities. There'll be some cool things that we're integrating into the season that will start tonight, obviously with the home opener. A lot of new cool things inside. We're the building that wants to renovate 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So when you walk in the building tonight, you'll see some new things that you haven't seen before. Look under the escalator. There's a really neat LED display that has a truck sitting on it. I remember the day that our tech guys were saying, all right, we're about to put a truck on that LED display. Let's hope for the best. It worked out. It looks great. And there are a lot of other things. We have a new Vanderbilt activation that looks that just before you walk into fan information. That's a really cool addition. BetMGM Sports Lounge, not quite ready yet, but coming soon. Cool. It's going to be really cool. So a lot of fun things in there. Get in there early. Stay late and take it all in.
Michelle, you have a lot of pull. Can we get Chase and the Zamboni at some point this year?
Absolutely.
Sean never would let him on there.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank
Madam
you.
President.
Okay,
yes.
all right. I like that. We'll make it happen. At Madam President on Twitter. Go give her a follow. Michelle, thanks so much for doing this. We'll see you tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for being here.
Michelle Kennedy.
Go Preds.
Go
There
Preds. Michelle Kennedy joining us, Predators President, here on the program. And again, opening night, we'll have pregame coverage starting at 6 o'clock. Predators take on the Kraken in their home opener. Definitely want to see this place packed to officially start the 25th anniversary celebration here in Smashville. It's Chase and Big Joe live today at Pete and Terry's Tavern at Bridgestone Arena, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
He knows the ins and outs of the Titans and isn't afraid to give his opinion.
Traylon Burks needs a massive offseason.
He's Jonathan Hutton of Outkick.
I don't see how they make a move without going to Ryan Tannehill.
Catch him every Monday at 10:30 on Chase McCabe and every Wednesday at noon on Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. Hutton is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's the final week of the Electronic Express 40th anniversary sale. Visit any of our convenient locations and save up to 40% throughout the entire store. This week, get a TCL 55-inch 4K TV for only $269, or a stainless steel refrigerator only $499. Plus, get up to 60 months special financing on items like a top-load laundry pair, only $349 each, or an HP touchscreen laptop just $699. Sale ends Saturday. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Are you looking to buy a new home? Need cash now instead of having to wait for your current house to sell? Don't get ripped off by one of those I buy your house people. Call Loan Pronto. Hey, Willie Donick here. Loan Pronto's Dream Home Bridge Loan can help tap your equity so you can get the cash you need. Make a clean offer on that new home or that investment property with cash to cover the down payment. With this amazing program, you can get the cash in a matter of days. Very little paperwork, and usually no appraisal is needed. So you can go after the house you want with no contingency. Then when your current house sells, the bridge loan completely disappears. Don't put off your dream. Let Loan Pronto help you leverage your equity so you can get the cash to make a solid, clean offer. Call now, 615-499-5780. Ask about the Dream Home Bridge Loan. LoanPronto.com. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury pre-owned Rolex timepiece is happening at Genesis Diamonds. Friday and Saturday, October 20th and 21st, Genesis is hosting an epic pre-owned luxury Rolex event featuring a stunning new selection of these hard-to-find watches. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, all the hottest models that people wait years for. For this event, you can choose from 5 years financing or get a free pair of 2-carat lab-grown diamond earrings valued at $5,000. Imagine a luxury pre-owned ladies Rolex Datejust for just $199 a month, or a Sea Dweller or Submariner for just $299 a month. No waiting list, no games, just the watch you want at the great Genesis value price you deserve. Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers will be offering top dollar for your Rolex, so you can buy, sell, or trade. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in the state. Get the timepiece of your dreams and take advantage of our special financing. Friday and Saturday, October 20th and 21st only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes. Green Hills and Cool Springs. On approved credit while supplies last. See store for details.
Hey, are you seeking relief? Maybe you just want to enhance your day or night. Did you know there are legal THC products available right here in Tennessee? Yeah, really. You can have legal THC products shipped directly to the comfort of your home. Yes, Comfort in Cannabis is only a website away. Visit greentreescompany.com. That's Green Trees with a Z, and change your life today.
The Parker Store at 1909 Nolensville Road in Nashville is the Parker Factory Authorized Store for your Parker hydraulic, pneumatic, water, and chemical hose needs. They stock metric tubing and hose connections to 42 millimeters in size, and they'll fabricate while you wait up to 6,000 PSI hydraulic hoses in a 2-inch size. Call the Parker Store at 615-248-8245 for all the Parker requirements you have. The Parker Store, 1909 Nolensville Road.
In any work environment, culture is the most important thing. And what makes up the culture? The people. Hey, this is General Manager Sean Ford with Cromwell Media. And this month, we have several celebrating their anniversary working with us. From our corporate office, Janice Russell is celebrating 33 years and Dorothy Black, 29. Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexroad, the duo that make up our morning show on 102.5 The Game, are celebrating 3 years. And Connor Newt, who works for 102.5 behind the scenes, is celebrating 1 year with us as well. If you're looking for a new career, reach out to us at together@cromwellmedia.com. Love what you do, love where you work.
Vanderbilt football lives here.
This Saturday, it's Vanderbilt and Georgia from First Bank Stadium. Kickoff at 11 a.m. Coverage starts at 9:30.
Your home for the Commodores is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to the Chase and Big Joe Show, brought to you by Regal Realty Group.
I got a hot date tonight. Hot date. Dinner with Fred. Dinner alone. Watching TV alone. All right. I'm going to sit at home and ogle the ladies in the Victoria's Secret catalog. Sears catalog.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road.
Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Thank you for being a friend. One of the greatest television programs of all time, The Golden Girls.
Usually cry when this theme comes on.
I know. I mean, you go home and watch this after every show.
I do. I just try to take. I try to be I'm the Dorothy to your Rose. Or the
I was
Rose
about to say,
Dorothy.
which Golden Girl are you?
Dorothy, right?
Dorothy?
Was that Maud B. Arthur?
Yeah.
Is that it was?
Yeah. It was B. Arthur.
Okay. Rose was the mom.
No.
Blanche.
No. Sophia was the mom.
Sophia was the mom.
Yeah.
Rose was.
is Betty White. And then
Blanche.
Blanche.
Okay.
Blanche was like the fun one.
Yeah.
It's the best one.
The very
I
flirty
think I'm
one.
Sophia.
Just set in your ways.
Set my ways, but kind of a smart A. And,
Okay.
You know,
she was only.
She was younger.
That's right.
Than B. Arthur.
That's right.
And played her mom.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple years of each other.
It's crazy that they're all gone now.
Isn't it? I mean,
know.
you watch that show, it's like you're watching it like real time, and it's like that was 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
So there's a it's on YouTube, but there's a clip because a lot of it they improv'd a lot of the scenes, and so there's one where Betty White is just being Betty White and doing her thing, and the other three just like they can't keep it together.
Oh, really?
Because she's just making, and she's so straight faced and making what's her?
Rue McClanahan.
McClanahan. Thank you. So they're like losing it, trying to with Betty White just doing her thing and being that's the kind of sense of humor she had.
That's a show. I mean, that show probably would make it today. I mean, because nobody laughs anymore.
But like
I'm
I'm waiting.
comedy today.
There's no creativity anymore. So I'm waiting for them to be like, coming soon, the reboot, The Golden Girls, and it's like got Miley Cyrus doing "Thank You for Being a Friend" and.
Oh, okay. I mean, what's a good comedy now on TV? I don't know why. I always go back and watch. I mean, Current
still on the air.
I remember one time I
don't know, man. I don't watch a lot of new TV.
Yeah, I tweeted out one time because CBS, you watch the Titans game. It's like, hey, Sunday night, Steve tries to get his bicycle back from Mark, and all new whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never heard of this show. And I tweeted out, does anybody ever watch CBS comedies on Monday night? And Pat O'Brien tweets me back and says, even when I worked there, I never watched a CBS comedy. I thought, this is fake. It was Pat O'Brien telling me that. So I started laughing, but I don't watch any of that stuff, man.
No, I mean, like the last comedy that I watched religiously was probably The Big Bang Theory.
Okay, that's funny.
That was a good one. I mean, you had there was kind of, I feel like it was the last of its kind. Like you had that run where it was Big Bang Theory, How I Met Your Mother, which was basically Friends, but it was still a good show.
Yep.
King of Queens was good.
But you're going back late 90s now.
Yeah, now that's
everybody
late
loves
90s.
Raymond.
Yeah, everybody Loves Raymond was one of those shows that when it was new, like I didn't really like it, and then I started watching.
Yeah, that's how most of that stuff kind of happens. SNL did a great skit one time. They did. Daryl Hammond was Al Michaels. Will Ferrell was Dan Fouts. Jimmy Fallon was Dennis Miller. And it's a great skit.
I think I remember that.
But they're doing highlights in the middle of it. What's always cracks me up because there'll be like a big play in a game, and Jim Nantz will be like, "Hey, this Thursday on an all-new CSI New Orleans, Jimmy gets caught in a mafia web. What's he going to do? That's Thursday at 7." So Daryl Hammond would read these little dumb little in-game promos, but that was it's good times back then, brother.
I took a class in college where we had to watch like old SNL skits. We like spent a whole day watching old SNL skits from the 90s with Chris Farley and Adam Sandler and that group, which I think is the best is the best cast of SNL of all time.
We'll argue.
That group. But, Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd.
They're all good in their own unique way.
Yeah, that's true. And who was it Gilda Radner?
Gilda Radner, Lorraine Newman, Jane Curtin. I mean, the original cast with
Roseanne Dana.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it lost its way for a little bit. Then Eddie Murphy saved Saturday Night Live, saved it big time. And Joe Piscopo was on there. And then they rolled in Dana Carvey, John Lovitz, Kevin Nealon, Phil Hartman. And then they got Sandler. And then they got David Spade and Farley. And it just –
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. And although he wasn't that huge of a star then. He was still funny. And it took off. And then Will Ferrell and that cast and Chris Kattan came and they took off. And then it became just, something just unbelievably awesome.
So if you could – if Lorne Michaels called you and said –
Joe, what are we doing today?
You get to decide the SNL, the all-time
That's a great
cast
question.
And the guest host.
It's a great question. By the way, the Dr. Evil's voice, Mike Myers, this caused a little rift between Dana Carvey and Mike Myers because Dr. Evil's voice is based off of Lorne Michaels.
Okay.
And Dana Carvey did not feel comfortable making fun of Lorne Michaels. And Mike Myers says, we're going to do it. And then that's how Dr. Evil's voice came. Belushi was fantastic.
Yeah.
Belushi was Eddie Murphy.
I mean, the Blues Brothers was born on SNL.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you got Eddie Murphy is still tops. I mean, you can't. He was just Eddie Murphy. I don't know if everybody would be as funny as he was during the early 80s.
Was it Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood?
Yeah, and the James Browns. I mean, everything was perfect. And then you got, Will Ferrell was great. Jason Sudeikis was great. Bill Hader was. I mean, so it's really tough to narrow down who was during that. I think to me, Chris Parnell was one of my all-time, and he'll never get recognized the way he should. He was fantastic.
So who would be your guest host? Alec Baldwin was great when he did it.
He was. Tom Hanks, pretty good.
Tom Hanks.
Justin Timberlake was funny.
He was good. Oh, who was the cowbell? Christopher Walken was guest host a lot.
Yeah.
He was always funny when he was on there.
Yeah, it's not the that's the great question. There is no wrong answer, right, for all that to put it on there. But that would be it was really some of those skits back. I mean, Will Ferrell doing George Bush and Daryl Hammond doing Al Gore in the 2000 election. I mean, that was perfect comedy. I mean, their political satire throughout the years has been great. Now, the last couple of years, it's been massively one-sided, so it's not been that funny. I mean, if you're going to make fun of everybody, make fun of everybody, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Hit both sides.
Texter says I'm listing off the least funny shows of all time, so I guess they didn't like my How I Met Your Mother and Big. They're not my favorites of all time.
I never saw a single episode. Sorry.
Seinfeld is. I would go Seinfeld is my favorite of all time.
So he goes on the stage last week, Seinfeld, and says, "Stay tuned." Somebody says, "We hated the ending." He's like this open, getting questions with the audience.
Oh,
and somebody said, "We hated the ending." He's like, "You did?" He goes, "Well, we got something coming for you."
No, don't
no,
do
come
it.
on. Him and Larry are working on it. Larry David. Would you not want to see?
I mean, I'm gonna
12 more episodes of Seinfeld. How they are right now.
I would.
Yeah, Dr. Crane, exactly. To see how George, what kind of failure he is.
But I thought that the ending was so perfect.
Awful ending.
You didn't like it?
Hated it. In a jail cell, awful. going to court, whatever it was.
But I mean, it was the Good Samaritan law. Like, no, I thought it was. I thought it was perfect for the whole show because it was like, it was nothing. Like they went to jail for nothing.
True.
So that was like the whole premise of the show about nothing.
Yeah, I mean, no offense. I mean, you're in a minority. It's okay, but
sure.
nobody liked the ending of that. So if you come back for 12 episodes and reboot it, it'd be kind of funny.
Okay, so somebody pointed out they're doing the Frasier reboot. That's fine. I don't care about it because he's the only one on it. Roz is going to make like one guest appearance, and then David Hyde Pierce didn't want to do it.
Why not?
So that's my thing. If you're going to do it, if you're going to do the reunion or the reboot or the whatever, it's got to be Jerry, Elaine, George, Kramer.
Yeah.
It's got to be all of them.
Well, I think you need to bring back Putty, bring back Newman. You bring back as many of the old characters as you can.
Yeah. I mean, of course.
Would you like to see Bryan Cranston come back as a dentist? Jerry go to the dentist, and there's Bryan. Knowing that we know who Bryan Cranston, how popular he is now after coming off Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I mean, all those would be fantastic. But yeah, I agree. If you're going to do it, do it. Bring the whole company back. Bring the whole town back, not just one or two people.
Yeah. There's a show on Netflix called Comedians in Cars Drinking Coffee. It's hosted by Jerry Seinfeld. And he had Michael Richards on in one of the episodes. And he actually said, like, would love to do a reboot. And so, like, that's been an open-ended answering question on that on his little new show from time to time when he has on, if it's Elaine or Michael Richards as Kramer, one or the other.
I think it'd be just, don't overdo it. 12 episodes would be fantastic.
Dylan says Friends and The Office are 10 times better than Seinfeld. Look, I love both of those shows, but I'm going to disagree.
That's tough. Yeah, I mean, Seinfeld's number one. Office.
I mean, here's the other thing, too. Friends is like, that's a sitcom. It's a comedy, but that's different. I put that in a different category than I would like a comedic satire like Seinfeld or The Office.
Let me ask you this. You take Kramer out of Seinfeld, is it as funny?
No.
You take Dwight Schrute out of The Office?
No.
Exactly right.
Now,
it's two of the greatest roles ever.
Okay, so this is our pop culture conversation for the day.
Dig it.
I will say this, that like Jerry Seinfeld was probably like of all the characters on that show, because he didn't have any acting training. He was a comedian. That's what he did. He's the one that you could probably take off and it would still work. As crazy as that sounds. Whereas
that's a good point.
Whereas Michael Scott, like when he left, like I quit watching. Even though you needed Dwight, but they played so well off of each other.
Right.
Because Steve Carell just played that role to perfection. Like you had to have him as the lead. You know what I'm saying? And look, I wouldn't want Seinfeld to be off Seinfeld. He's the show surrounds him. That's why that whole cast worked. But my point is, if you're you can't take George off. Like that's what I know it was a whole joke, but when they did the quote unquote reunion on Curb Your Enthusiasm and they, Larry David fired Jason Alexander. He's like, well, it's based on me anyway, so I'll play myself.
Right.
Like they were basically showing everybody we could never have taken George off.
Oh, I totally agree.
Like they all made the show. Like you could probably, you could have gotten rid of Elaine. Like Elaine wasn't on the pilot, but even she had her moments.
Well, then you plug in the support cast around me. Mr. Peterman.
Yeah.
He made me laugh every time
Peterman
he showed
hilarious.
up. Every time. Newman and all that stuff. But it's a –
Hello, Newman.
Yeah, I mean, 12 episodes would be fine just to see how they're doing now and give us that closure that everybody wants. But Seinfeld, it's on Twitter. I saw it. Went on and said, Larry and him are hear what you're talking about, and they're working on something. So what does that mean? Who knows?
Dylan says, and this is a good point, I would have to say, though, that The Office is my favorite. And to be fair, I just turned 24. So a lot of the stuff in Seinfeld – that with Seinfeld doesn't really resonate with me, so I just don't really get a lot of it.
Okay.
That's fair.
It's your opinion. That's
fine. Mean, the show did end in 97.
I mean, I'm around Dylan's age. I don't know if that is a valid answer.
I
Give
think
it
for
to
some
Dr.
people
Crane.
it is.
Dr. Crane, don't you take any garbage from people. You tell them how it is, buddy.
There's no garbage.
Showing it May of 98.
Another
year.
I was born around that age, but come on, man.
Scott in Hendersonville. A reboot is a reimagining with a whole new universe, new characters, new actors, new plots. Bringing back an old show and continuing the storylines with the same actors and same characters is a revival. Okay, whatever.
I get it, but bring him back now. I mean, see what they're doing now. What's happened in 25 years since they've been gone.
What it sounds like they're going to do is like Will and Grace did, and just it's going to be another season, but, almost 20 years later.
I'm not watching comedy on TV now.
I mean, I'll watch. Like, I'll probably check the Frasier show out, but I don't think it's going to be very good.
You're probably correct on that, Chase.
615-737-1025, Home Improvement.
Are we going to eat in a little bit or not?
I have been told there's going to be food.
Smash burger?
I will work on that during the break.
Oh, okay. Then get busy. Okay, let's go to break. Go to break.
JoJo is hungry. Live today here at Pete and Terry's Tavern at Bridgestone Arena. It's the Chase and Big Joe Show. Hey, we're presented by Regal Realty Group. Glad to have them on board with us here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Nashville's radio version of The Odd Couple.
You would trade for the third pick? Yeah. I don't know that I would do that.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode.
I'm here for the discussion. I'm not. It's a good one.
It's absurd. Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 9.
Win the games. When they get in the playoff, they'll have a chance to.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Family Leisure invites you to relax at home this fall with all our indoor products on sale now.
Enjoy the movie theater experience with theater seating from Family Leisure. 3-piece sets start at only $9.99. Massage chairs are only $14.99 as well.
30 pool tables on display. Hundreds in stock for immediate delivery. Pool tables start at $14.99 install.
Family Leisure has above-ground pools ready for immediate installation.
Outdoor and wicker furniture. Huge selection still in stock.
Family Leisure's Relax at Home sale.
Antioch and Franklin.
Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville invites you to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month by donating to Breast Cancer in Action. BRA's mission is to empower breast cancer survivors physically and emotionally by creating inclusive communities where all can grow in strength, resilience, and joy. Find it in your heart to donate by going to info@bragroups.org. Pella Windows and Doors would also like to thank their sponsors of their Putt for Pink Customer Appreciation event: Binks Lodge, the Nashville Predators, Apio Media, Little House Animal Hospital, Mid-10 Ford, and 102.5 The Game.
Vanderbilt Commodore fans, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, along with 94.9 The Fan, is your new home for broadcast of games and the Commodore Hour on Monday evenings. Catch all the action for football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball all season long. Go Doors!
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to the Tennessee Men's Clinic in Franklin. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough about them. Their providers took care of me, followed up, and made sure I had a treatment plan that actually works. It's awesome. If I were you, and you're like me, I'd give them a call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. If you're like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra. Results vary.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, if you missed our show, you can get it on demand. Just search for the Chase and Big Joe Show podcast on Apple, Spotify, or any podcast platform.
Chase and Big Joe are on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McKay, Big Joe Dubin with you on this Thursday, Predators opening night at Bridgestone Arena. We're having a spirited conversation during the break. So I'll bring Junie in on this because he's talking about, I heard him discussing this with Rexrode and Robbie this morning about Ryan Tannehill. So you're in the group of basically saying it's time to just get rid of him and move on to, I guess, Will Levis.
with the trajectory of how the season is going, I mean, I think it would be more wise for the Titans to see the writing on the wall and go with the young quarterback and start anew. Because I don't see, like, I posed this question to you, Chase, and I would love for people on the text line to weigh in. Out of all the AFC South teams, who has impressed you the most and who has impressed you the least?
No. Let's go back to your Tannehill thing here.
Okay.
Say he goes to London and lights it up. I mean, goes fantastic. You still ready to move on? 3-3?
I mean, but that's been the tail of the season. It's up and
so
down. It's up and down.
Do you wait till there's 7 and 8 and then you get rid of him? There's 2 games left? I mean, I see what you're saying, but the second you switch a quarterback, the second the attitude of that locker room changes. Like, we're done. We're focusing on next year.
Some teams rally around a young quarterback going in.
I don't know. You're right on that some teams rally around that. I don't know if this team will.
And that's a good question.
And like,
it's not a good football team.
Here's why I say that, because he and I have been talking about this, is that this team doesn't have – they don't have that fire that they should have right now. And so it's like – and I don't know what that is. I don't know if they've tuned Vrabel out. I don't know if they, the whole Kevin Byard pay cut thing just put a rift through the locker room. I don't know if they know it's the end of the road, so who cares, at this point.
Well, let's further his question. Say Tannehill is awful. They lose Sunday. They come back versus the Falcons. I think if they're 2-5 and lose to the Falcons, I think he's done. Who do you put in?
For me, I mean, I'm putting in Levis. I think they drafted him to be the answer. You traded up in the second round to go get him. He has the better upside. I think they don't view Malik Willis as the future, and I think that you would give Levis the shot. Unless, what they've seen in practice has been better for Willis, then throw Willis in there. But for me, I think that this organization sees Will Levis as the next guy to get the crack at being the franchise quarterback. And for me, I just don't see this team, even if they were, let's go to your posed question here. Let's say Tannehill lights it up in London. They go 3-3, and then they somehow, through the back half of the season where the schedule's not as strenuous as it has been through the first 6 weeks, let's say that they make the playoffs. Do we really think this team is going to win a playoff game?
I don't think they have a winning record.
I don't think they are either. I would rather get the young guy in, get a head start in seeing what you have in them, knowing that 2 other teams in your division are doing exactly that, and try to see what you have and try to get that young quarterback, whether it's Levis or if it's Willis, give them an opportunity to see what they have and give them some reps and some exposure.
Where do you pull that plug?
I would say right where you said. If they're 2-5 after the Ravens and Falcons game, that's the perfect time to do it. And looking at the way that the Texans have played, you've already lost to the Colts. The Jaguars seem like they're kind of getting into their groove a little bit. If those teams keep winning and you keep losing, I think it's time to see the writing on the wall and go give a young guy an opportunity. I just think you're wasting the rest of the year.
So if they pull Tannehill, say he's bad Ravens, bad Falcons, Will Levis's first start will be against on a short night, on a short week?
Steelers.
Pittsburgh. Yeah. So
that would be rough.
Throw them to the wolves,
but
man.
Here's the other thing. If they're gonna go to Levis, then why isn't he the backup? He's inactive.
Well,
he's the third. He's dressed, but he's the third.
And that's why I likely don't think that they would. I think they would go to Malik Willis first. But for me, if it was me, I would go Levis. And I think that if Levis had played in the preseason and didn't get injured in those joint practices against Minnesota, I think he would have won the backup job.
Here's what I think. And I don't think they're going to, because I don't think Mike Vrabel signed up for this. That's not what he wants, is a guy that now has control. But if they decided to go into tank mode, then you go to Willis, and you just let Levis sit back and learn, and he works with the coaches, and you put Willis out there, and then you see where you end up with the draft. Because I heard you this morning, and I agree with you. This is a good draft. And you don't need Caleb Williams. Now, if you suck so bad for the rest of the year that you ended up with the number 1 overall pick, I would trade that thing and get as much draft capital as I can, because they don't have a lot of that. But they're probably not going to get there at this point. But could they end up with a top 10 pick? Maybe. And I'd still
They
maybe
can't
look
take
at
a
moving
quarterback
back.
3
No,
years
they're
in a
not going to
row.
take a
Guys,
quarterback.
for me, it's just as simple as this.
How is simple, buddy?
This team lost 7 straight last year. They've lost 3 this. So what are they? 2-10 in their last 12? I mean, Titans fans just deserve better than this. And going back and just looking at the film, Ryan Tannehill, he's late on his throws. He's missing guys. He's not making the right reads. I don't think he trusts his protection, which, I mean, he shouldn't. But when he does get good protection, he's getting happy feet. He's making the wrong reads. I just think it's time to move on. And I think it's better to see what you have in one of these young quarterbacks rather than to just sit here and waste the rest of the year not knowing. And I just think, especially if they are considering moving off Byard and considering moving off Henry after this year, I think it would be good for those guys to be around to help a young quarterback kind of get on their feet and help them progress throughout the rest of the season. Because, again, like, if you want to get something out of this year, I think giving the reps to a young guy and giving them an opportunity to prove themselves is at least worth the shot than winning 7 or 8 games and missing the playoffs and getting a mediocre draft pick, you know?
Look, I don't 100% agree with you, but I don't think you're saying anything that's off base. But what I know about Mike Vrabel is he's not going to do it.
No, I know he's not, but I'm just it's better. It's for me. I just think the Titans' window was in 2021. They went all in on 2021.
the window's
got the
closed.
number 1 seed. And then again, so why are we sticking with this old core? I just don't understand why a lot of Titans fans are so gung-ho about sticking with Tannehill, knowing that he's not going to take you where you want to go. He might as well move on.
A lot of Titans fans are with you.
So to say that Vrabel's not going to make a change is 2019 Denver game. Marcus Mariota had the worst performance of a pro quarterback I'd ever seen. He was a bad nice guy, bad quarterback. And they recognize, look, this team is going nowhere with Marcus Mariota. So they pulled the plug on him and put Tannehill in and led him to the AFC Championship game. So I'm with you, man. If something goes like they see it's not going to happen.
Here's the difference in that, though.
Because Marcus wasn't Vrabel's guy.
But I think they knew. He wasn't Robinson's guy either. They knew that Marcus probably wasn't going to work out. So Miami basically gave them Tannehill. And I was sitting in this building at the SEC basketball tournament when they made that trade, and I looked at Marquise Munson, who was working here at the time, and I said, that is an insurance policy. They're getting him for absolutely nothing. Miami's paying most of his salary. That is an insurance policy. And then Diana Rossini had these reports that there was a quarterback battle in camp, and then everybody disputed that. And then we saw what happened with the Denver game. But that's the difference. They know that they have 2 guys that potentially could be the future, one probably more so than the other. So it could be similar. But I think it's different because they knew they had the answer with Mariota. They were just going to give him one more shot because of who he was.
No, and I agree with that. And to your point about that, I actually went to one of the preseason games. The Steelers came here and played at Nissan Stadium in that preseason, and I was sitting there watching the game thinking, because Mariota played in that preseason, and I watched Tannehill, and I was like, Tannehill looks much more comfortable in this kind of offense than Marcus does. And again, everybody, you didn't have to be a fan of the Titans to know that Marcus was on a very short leash going in to the year. So for me, that writing was on the wall. I think this is the same thing. It's like, your window was open, 19, 20, 21. Last year should have said, hey, this is the end. It's time to move on. And again, a lot of my argument was in the offseason.
Sure.
Because I felt like if they used Tannehill as a post-June 1st cut, they would have saved $27 million. You could have used that money to beef up your team a little bit more, maybe not have to rely on a bunch of backup offensive linemen to come here and save the day, which they clearly have not, and that's been my argument this whole time. And I just felt like if they would have used that money for other resources, they could have built up a better offense and given a young quarterback an opportunity to thrive.
Do you trust them to go out and find the right player? I mean, because they wouldn't have found these guys are no good. Dillard and Hubbard and everybody else.
The unknown is undefeated, Joe.
Scanlon?
I mean, you know what you have with this team now.
Brunskill, that's a guy. Brunskill.
Backup.
Yeah. He's a backup.
Daniel Brunskill.
Dillard, Brunskill, backups. For good offensive lines.
If they go over there and get their butt kicked by the Ravens, they're 2-4, and we'll see how this team reacts after that because There's a lot of questions, man. When you got more questions than answers, you have more questions than answers, Judy.
Yes, we do. Indeed. We're live today at Pete and Terry's Tavern, Bridgestone Arena. Good job, Junie. Junie going to hang out throughout the day. You can listen to Junie Riddle and Nick Keiser, Riddle and the Reporter, on Fridays from 6 to 8 here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We'll come back with celebrity birthdays, put a bow on things here on Chasing Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
The holidays are a time of celebration and Thanksgiving. It's a time to host friends and family in your home to enjoy good food and good times. The last thing you need is an unexpected issue. If you're planning a gathering this season, take a few minutes to bring out the home experts from Lee Company. For heating, plumbing, electrical, and all your home improvement needs, Lee Company has you covered. Visit LeeCompany.com and schedule your first appointment online. Lee Company, all you need.
Get a great deal on select Kubota equipment, the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S. The versatile lineup is built to help you make the most of your land. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months, plus save up to $800 on qualifying implements. Now through October 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Visit Coleman Tractor, your local Kubota dealer in Clarksville, Nashville, Paris, and White House today.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury pre-owned Rolex timepiece is happening at Genesis Diamonds. Friday and Saturday, October 20th and 21st, Genesis is hosting an epic pre-owned luxury Rolex event featuring a stunning new selection of these hard-to-find watches. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, all the hottest models that people wait years for. For this event, you can choose from 5 years financing or get a free pair of 2-carat lab-grown diamond earrings valued at $5,000. Imagine a luxury pre-owned ladies Rolex Datejust for just $199 a month, or a Sea Dweller or Submariner for just $299 a month. No waiting list, no games, just the watch you want at the great Genesis value price you deserve. Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers will be offering top dollar for your Rolex, so you can buy, sell, or trade. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in the state. Get the timepiece of your dreams and take advantage of our special financing. Friday and Saturday, October 20th and 21st only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes. Green Hills and Cool Springs. On approved credit while supplies last. See store for details.
The Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce invites you to join us for a sneak peek at the latest artificial intelligence and machine learning advancements at Annual Celebration 2023. Collaboration in the Age of AI, presented by PNC Bank and Tanger Outlets at Renaissance Hotel Nashville from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. Tuesday, October 24th. Network, participate in interactive demonstrations, and hear thought-provoking discussion about the future of work in the Nashville region with speakers like Sam Davidson, Dr. Robbie Melton, Brad Smith, and more. Don't miss this event. Get tickets now at celebrate.nashvillechamber.com.
Just a minute, don't hang up. Hey, we want to hear from all of you. Give us a call or text at 615-737-1025.
Hello. You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
Our phone line driven by Wilson County Hyundai.
Chase and Big Joe are on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game TV theme Thursday. Putting a bow on things here at Bridgestone Arena for our show here at Pete and Terry's Tavern. I hear food's coming, so we're gonna sample
I was about
some
out
food.
the door, and it's like, hey, don't leave yet. There's food. Now I'm all into the show.
Delaware North, who is the food provider, hospitality partner with the Predators at Bridgestone Arena. They have new menu items they've introduced. The Smash Burger, which Joe's very excited about. I tried this at the food tasting. It's awesome.
Oh, okay.
They have a Preds Burger, Turkey Burger, Music City Cheesesteak, pork wings. Those are fantastic. Dr. Pepper glazed chicken sandwich, Italian sandwich. Love that. Funnel cake fries, banana pudding funnel cake fries. So a lot of different things that you can try when you come to the arena tonight for the Predators and the Kraken. Really looking forward to seeing this team. Obviously saw them, in the preseason, but seeing them tonight here on home ice as they take on the Kraken. So
you
looking
got a
forward
busy
to that.
night, right, Chase?
Yes, pregame at 6. I'll have that. Pete Weber a little under the weather, so Max Hers will move in to the play-by-play booth. I'll handle things from Barrel House, so come by and say hello. And Max will be on the call with Jay Moore tonight for our coverage here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Can we get through security to say hi to you?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Last time
it was
flash your smile.
Difficult to get in there and say hi to you. So I guess without further ado,
let's get to celebrity birthdays.
All right. Celebrity birthdays, America's favorite game show. Steve Harvey wants it, but he's been told to stay away. No, stay away. All right, first birthday, Chase McCabe. Actor Hugh Jackman. He played Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine. 60.
53.
55.
Nice.
Dr. Crane.
That was
Known
a
as
tough one.
characters. Not a tough one.
You're a tough one.
Hugh Jackman's my age. Look what he's done. Look what I've done. Good Lord.
He's better looking than you. No offense.
Yeah, that's okay. A lot taken, though. Josh Hutcherson. I think he was in the what's the game
The
with
Hunger Games.
Yeah, Hunger
Was he in
Games.
the Hunger Games?
I did the bow and arrow. Like, what's the game with the bow? The movie with the bow and arrow. Hunger Games. Yes.
39.
I'm going to go 34.
31. Fun fact, Junie. Josh Hutcherson's from Kentucky.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's okay.
We love it.
We did. Actress Iris Apatow. Her dad's Judd Apatow.
25.
Iris. I'm going to go 31.
21.
Okay, well, I was in the right decade.
You were. Singer Sam Moore of Sam and Dave. Soul Man. They originally sang
Yeah.
Soul Man.
83.
76.
88.
Oh.
TV host Chris Wallace.
42.
54.
76. Pretty close. Actress, singer Susan Anton. Tall, beautiful blonde. Back in the day.
Right up my alley. Let's go 71.
So Joe says back in the day. I'm going to go 78.
73. Tied at 1. Good job, Chaser. Let's see here. Marty McGuire, the fiddler from the Dixie Chicks, or whatever they're called now. I call them the Dixie
They're
Chicks.
just the Chicks. No.
Okay. Marty McGuire.
57.
We're going to go 53.
54. Dr. Crane's
Nice.
up 2-1. Actor Kirk Cameron.
Kirk Cameron, 49.
Let's go 56.
53, and that's our last one because I don't recognize anybody else on here.
We got a push?
No, he wins 2-1.
Oh, that's right.
Also, Dusty Rhodes stays his birthday.
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes. And Luciana Pavarotti.
Yes.
Dusty Rhodes, one of the best of all time.
I listened
Nick,
to
do you know
Pavarotti as a kid.
I was going to say, do you know any of his songs that you know?
Yeah. Do you want me to sing some? I can.
No. Yeah, you got one? Sing it.
You're really going to put me in the spot like this?
Well, sing it.
Oh, my gosh. Hang on. I got to get in the voice mode here.
No, go.
don't sing.
You sure?
Got to go to YouTube, play a clip, and lip sync it.
No, it's
But
okay.
that's all right,
Pavarotti and
Dr. Craig.
Bocelli. I have their CD at my grandmother's house in the kitchen.
Okay.
Used to listen to that when we made pizza when I was like 8 to 9 years old.
Oh, that's memories. I have memories getting yelled at by my dad. Told me to leave the house. That was good. Those are my memories.
Dusty Rhodes had some of the great quotes of all time about, I have wined and dined with kings and queens and slept out in the alley and ate pork and beans. Had some good ones for sure.
Guy's still, he's still a legend. I mean, he's.
Oh, yeah. I know. And his son, Cody, now is one of the biggest stars in WWE. His other son, Dustin Goldust, basically ending his career. But the American dream lives on.
So is The Rock coming back to WWE?
I think he is. I think he's coming back to
Something
WrestleMania.
weird happening with him. Like that movie he did, Black Adam, it got universally panned. There's a few other things that didn't go his way because he's not on prominent on social media like he used to be.
No. I mean, he's still doing a lot of charitable things, though, so which is cool.
I mean, I support all McGavick alumni.
Yeah, as you should, and we
Yeah.
support you.
Thank you.
We'll be live all day here at Bridgestone Arena. Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace coming up next. Obviously, they'll get you set for tonight's game between the Predators and the Kraken. And then also the Titans leaving for London. You'll get a final check with practice with all of that. That is coming up next. Pregame tonight at 6. here on 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can do it now in less than a week. Hey, Willie Donick here. That's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line